Hello, everybody, and welcome to Adventures in Eurorack with me, Gaz Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wow, I've got a loop going on. What's going on? I've got it playing. Oh, gosh. That nearly went smooth. Right, I'm just getting myself set up. Yes, I think I had another YouTube open there. Well, here we all are. Hope everybody's good. Right. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, but we are talking polyphony. This is super exciting. In front of me, I've put together, this is actually a tip-top audio, I've forgotten what it's called now, but this little kind of, it's like a rack mount for Eurorack. And they're reasonably cheap, but it's cool because now I can actually screw all the modules in. It's a little bit wobbly, but it's better than last week. Right, anyway, the star of the show tonight is the Disting EX from Expert Sleepers. Now, this is running the new firmware 1.6, but beware, everybody, it's not out yet. It's out, I think, tomorrow. So this is a little sneaky little preview. So I apologise for those of you who've got Disting EXs and are trying to download it now. You will just have to wait until tomorrow. And yeah, that's the thing. So this is, I'm very grateful to Oz from Expert Sleepers to have this little preview for tonight. But I think what this is actually super, super cool. Yeah, because the new thing in 1.6, or the headline grabber, I would say, is the Polyphonic Wavetable synth. Now, I think this is quite a big deal because there isn't an awful lot of polyphonic action in the land of Eurorack. And I love chords and I love I love polyphony. So so it's an eight voice polyphonic synth, and we're going to explore it tonight. I've got in front of me the Arturia Keystep 37 connected via MIDI to the little breakout. It's wired correctly now. Although I've got a big screw sticking out there. I probably should change that one. I don't know. that screw dates back to about 20 years ago, I think. Wow. Never got round to replacing it. In the chat room, Native VS saying, what are you saying, Gaz? Any modular can be polyphonic if you have enough modules. Yes, but it is tricky. It's tricky. Because I'm new to this game, I kind of, discovering how little polyphonic action was going on, was kind of get it, understand that the whole modular thing really did come from that analog synthesizer world, where to do that polyphonically is well complicated, but digital module like the Disting EX, that kind of thing, I guess is good. But what I particularly like about this, and I've only had a brief look at it, I mean literally just got hold of this firmware now just a few hours ago, is that it's a pretty sophisticated module. I put a few other things in here just to kind of help things along the way. The Radical Technologies effects. Long-term viewers of this show will know that I really love this thing. It's kind of the big bad boy digital effects engine. It's brilliant. Anyway, but that's there. And also, here's cool. This is new. This is from Takab, and it's a very simple 3 LFO. Now, one of the things that's nice about Takab is they are from Thailand, Siam Modular. And it got me thinking about just how utterly international this whole sort of Eurorack modular world is. And, I was going through my rack, I was going, okay, so there's Greece, there's Germany, there's Sweden, there's Latvia, there's the US, there's Canada, there's the UK, and now Thailand. And I wondered, well, in fact, here we go. In the comments, please, I would love to know how many countries are represented in your rack. There we go. I would love to see comments about that. Because just to prove my point about the international nature of this splendid world. Okay, right. So anyway, 1.6. How brilliant. You know, if you bought one of these things when it first came out, you'll be treated to some significant new algorithms. There's now 10 EX specific algorithms. So just over here, we can see the Disting Mark IV. Now, all the algorithms in there are in the Disting EX. And in fact, you can use this as 2 of these in dual mode. Or if you're using it in single mode, there's 10 algorithms. And this Wavetable is the 10th algorithm. Yeah, so it's actually a pretty sophisticated synth. So I was mentioning I've got this LFO and I've got an effect here, but you've got LFOs, envelopes and effects in this synth. It's not just simply a voice, it is a full synth engine, I guess. And there's modulatable aspects of it, and the outputs are quite interesting in that 1 and 2 are the stereo, is the default stereo out. Number 4 is a mono sum. So that's great. You've got that mono sum as well as a stereo. And then number 3 is, I might need to refer to the manual, but is a paraphonic trigger, gate trigger. So when it'll send a gate on with every time, I guess, you play more than one note. I'd need to check that. But then, yeah, you've got 6 inputs. Now, I can actually probably go through what those are all mapped to. I think some of it you can map yourself, but I haven't got that far yet. But like number 2, for instance, would be pitch CV. Number 4, gate. 3, sustain. 6, up here, filter frequency. And then number 5, wave input. So that's for modulating the wavetable. And yes, good news is you absolutely can import your own wavetables into it too. And I was like flicking through the manual, and there is a lot to this. It is a pretty sophisticated algorithm. Right. Oh, before I go any further, I was just talking about the LFO. Just one thing I will mention about this LFO. Very, very simple. You've got 3 separate LFOs, and they're all set to different ranges. And, you know, from like super short, like really, you know, audio rate to, you know, the medium one, and then this long one at the bottom. But what makes it really cool is you get little jumpers, and you can set the 3 to be in whichever range you want them to be in. So you can have them all as fast or all as slow. It's entirely up to you. So pretty neat. And yeah, good value for money as well. Worth checking out. Right, but whether we use them, we'll wait and see, because we should really firstly explore what is in this new algorithm. I think I need to change this. This is ridiculous. Of all the MIDI leads that I could have picked out. Let me just do new MIDI lead. I'm going to swap it this way around. That's quicker. It's just this is poking right into that knob there. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so as I mentioned, this algorithm, this firmware will be, I think it's going to be released tomorrow. Don't be angry with me if it's not. But oh, there we go. That's much better. But yeah, 1.6. 1.5 brought some pretty cool things in. It brought in a thing called the Dream Machine, which is like a drone based on Lamont Young's some theories. Lamont Young, of course, famously was the avant-garde, not just a musician and a composer, but was also very influential and a lecturer. I know that John Cale from the Velvet Underground was studying under Lamont just before all of that exploded. Yeah, but that's got a Dream Machine. Maybe we'll see how things go. We could have a look at that. I've not actually explored it properly yet. But also 1.5 brought in a filter bank as well. So these algorithms that you're getting with the EX, they're like kind of bumper algorithms, you know, big is the big stuff. Yeah. Okay, so I think we need to hear some sounds. Bill Smith in the chat room saying Dream Machine is really fun. So we should have a look at that. Okay. Just want to say hello to everybody in the chat room. It's nice to see a lot of familiar friends and some new peeps too. So yeah. Right. Where am I? Let's get into here. Okay. Right. Let's get into some sounds. That's enough waffle from me for the time being. And oh, I've got like chords going on there. Right. Let me just reset it. Yeah, so gosh, what is it? There's about 50 algorithms. So 1 to 50. Now I know that some people, this kind of thing, especially with such a tiny weeny little screen, isn't necessarily a lot of fun, but in all fairness to the Disting, it's a sophisticated. Oh yeah, chord enable. Oh, let's just turn chord enable off. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's where I should have been. Right. So I'm going to speed over here, and I'm going to get to the wavetable here. Now, oh yeah, we can see it in the screen. Maybe I'll just zoom in a little bit. Whoop. Yeah, let's get that in on our screen a little bit. So let's focus on that for a moment. So we can see the wavetable there. Now, I can load in different wavetables. There we go. Okay. So, not the quickest to load, but remember, these are wavetables rather than just simply samples. Well, I guess they are samples, but it's sort of it's the stuff you can do with wavetables. Like when you start to scan through the wavetable, and we can see the waveform change. Right, let me just get my controls up here so I can see what's going on. Yeah. So I could modulate this. Well, that's why I had this little LFO to hand, so I could do that really quickly. Let's make it, I reckon, nice slow, and I'll put a nice slow triangle on there. So get a... maybe a bit too subtle. Hang on. So I'll find an algorithm with more harmonics in there. Haha. Bitmess binary layers, it calls this one. Okay, let's get some. So as I say, it is 8-voice polyphonic, and things can kind of help you out as well. There are things, in this that can help you out in terms of you can actually lock it into key. You can make it do chords. It's also got an arpeggiator built into it. Actually, there's some functionality overlap with the key step. One of the things that's quite nice about the key step 37 is the fact that you can do arpeggiators and you can lock them into keys and use scales. So, but I won't use any of the functionality of the key step for the moment. I'll only use it just as a trigger, and then we'll use everything from within the Disting. So it is fully polyphonic. And velocity. And all of this stuff is adjustable. And this is really, really cool. Now, I guess I could flick through all of the parameters very, very quickly, but I think that would probably be a little bit boring. So let's just go to some of the best bits. We've got 2 envelopes, and we have got an LFO. So the way that works, I'll flick over there. Oh yeah, look, filter type. we can choose low pass filter. Let's use low pass filter. Oh, actually, let's see what we've got. High pass, band pass, and low pass. Let's leave the low pass on for now. Oops. And then there's a frequency here. Now this is all modulatable. In fact, let's do that. Filter frequency, or filter Q. Velocity to volume, velocity to wave. Ooh, velocity to wave. That sounds cool. Let's crank that up. Now this, a little bit odd in the display, because what you can see the velocity and you can see the MIDI note number all at the same time. And that's, 8, and which of the 8 voices is currently sounding. Yeah, so let's just move through some of this. Velocity to filter. Yeah, that's quite cool. And these are all positive or negative values as well. So inverted velocity there. Let's just... pitch to wave. Ooh. So I'll set some of this stuff up, and then when we go changing the waveforms, the wavetables rather, we'll get really interesting results. Pitch to filter, envelope to wave, how much the envelope affects the wave, which envelope, I think envelope 1, oh yeah, and then envelope 2, to pitch, filter pitch wave. Okay, so filter pitch wave seems to be the thing that you can send around. LFO speed, gains, bend range. So chord enable, here we are. So let's enable chord enable. Right, which key? I'm in the key of F. And scales, augmented, whole tone, chromatic. So dominant, diminished, dominant, natural minor. Look, I'll keep natural minor just for boring. Okay, and then if we keep on, now this is pretty cool. We can choose what combination of notes. You may be familiar with some of this stuff because it's the same settings that's available to the other polyphonic mode that's in this, which is the polyphonic sampler, which is absolutely lovely. But to have this kind of wavetable now in here as well is, yeah, it's fab. Okay, so this gives us all different kind of chord voicings. Okay. Now let's see what else we can do. Yeah, this is cool. You get chord inversions as well. Yeah. And arpeggiators. 3 arpeggiators. Let's turn them on. Why is that not running? Up, on. Or maybe you have to turn chords off to you. Oh no, maybe. Oh. I'll leave that for a moment. I'll come back to that. Okay. Now, once you get through the arpeggiator settings, you get to a scala setting. So that's really cool because that's essentially a scale format. You can save any scale in a scala format and then import that, put it on the little SD card, the micro SD card. Okay, now look, chorus mode, hurrah. So we've got, straight away. Mode 1. Mode 2. Okay, so it's got the two different modes. Does sound quite well, it does sound like the Juno one a little bit, doesn't it? Actually, that's got that ensemble vibe, hasn't it? Okay, I'll leave it on mode 1. Delay. So there's effects in here too. Stereo delay. Ping pong. Oh look. Oh yeah. Delay level. Delay time. Let's see how long that will go. Oh, incidentally, I forgot there's a shortcut. If you press and hold, like that knob there, it will tell you on the screen what each of the ports are kind of mapped to. Although I think one is overlapping the text a little bit there. So yeah, loads of delay time available. What are we up to now? Oh yeah, 5,000 milliseconds. 5 seconds. Oh no, it's keeping going. I sort of wish, like you could press and turn it to give, like, because they do press in, but that is taking me to the menu. I'd like to be able to press in though and turn it just so I could speed through bigger parameter jumps. That facility may be in here, and I apologise. I'm still fairly unfamiliar with this thing. Anyway, on it goes. I'm twisting the knob there. Be interesting to see if anyone in the chat room knows if there is a speedier way to go through parameters, because I'm on 7,000 milliseconds now. Synth Addict saying Disting EX has cool features, just slightly less janky ass interface than with the Disting Mark IV. Always needs a cheat sheet. Yes, I would agree with that. The Disting, this one here, you know, you've got scrolling text. You can just read that now. Clockable delay. But it's a sophisticated little thing. And you do, I mean, to know which algorithm to go to. But, I mean, my goodness, look, what is it, 4 HP? And the Disting EX, you know, is that 8 HP or is it 10 HP? I think it's 8, I think. So, you know, in terms of bang for HP, if there's such a phrase, you get an awful lot. I'm finding twisting this. Oh, I'm being an idiot, of course. Of course. The bonds down here, this is like an encoder, and this one down here is just like a pot. So you can whiz through it that way. And then fine tune at the top. Sorry, Oz. I do know that. I was just wondering. Fine. So we've got that. So yeah, we can get it to 10,000. Yeah, so 10 seconds worth of delay available to us as well, which is loads. Okay. Yeah. Max asking, is it easier to get the SD card in? It's not dead easy. Like it is. If I pop it out, you can. Yeah, you can. It is hard, and I mean, I'd have to probably take that MIDI cable out to do it. And now on the Disting. Oh yeah, I was updating that one. Forgot I haven't put the card back into it yet. But that the Disting Mark IV also has the little micro SD card slot in the same location. Yeah, and you know, as I mentioned, the Disting EX is 2 of them, and I think it costs a little bit more than buying 2 of them, but the Disting EX specific algorithms, you know, as I mentioned, they're the big juicy algorithms like this Wavetable synth as an example. Right, let's go and play with. Oh well, I've got a huge reverb on there. Let's delay rather. Let's make that much more reasonable. Okay, there we go. So it's a delay feedback. You know, and then, cool, we got unison modes as well. Wow, getting a bit hot there. Okay. Delay, output mode. Oh, what's that now? Spread by voices. Oh, yeah. This is cool. So basically, when I was talking about the outputs and this being stereo and this being a monosum, that's the sort of default mode. But if you want to, you can have voices 1 and 5 coming out of 2, out of 1, 2 and 6 coming out of 2, etc. So you can have 4 separate voices coming out. Which is pretty cool too, especially for, you know, sending off on crazy journeys across your rack. Okay, output modes. Oh yeah, input mode. So I guess, let's see here, CV gate pairs. Oh, right, okay. I'll skip over that because I'm not quite sure what to use that for. Sustain mode. Oh yeah, look, MIDI velocity curves as well, which is great. Linear, fixed, and then we can mess with the curve, I think. Oh, is it just between linear and fixed? Wave input, pitch bend input, ARP reset input. Okay. I need to look at the manual on this. Not totally. Oh yeah, and then we've got 6 attenuators. Well, actually, a lot of these algorithms, they start with that. You have 6 attenuators at the beginning for the 6 inputs. So you can turn each one down, which is really handy. Okay, and now we're back after the attenuators to the wave selection. It's a shame they take such a long time to load because it would be nice to modulate that parameter. Wow. Ooh. It's hot. So everything you're hearing now, nothing else is affecting. Nothing. We're hearing purely just the Disting EX. The velocity feels a bit weird. So I can't keep striking. I probably want a nicer, what's that, logarithmic? Oh, of course. Of course. I changed the setting there, didn't I? So pitch to wave. So wave location. So every key press, we're getting a different wave, a different part of the wavetable. That's lovely, isn't it? I mean, that's got. Let's give us. I'll just use the arpeggiator on this for a moment. Let's. I know lurking next door. We can always just, if we go into that land a little bit as well. I'll back that. We'll go there later. Let's go back to the disting. So this is an alto sax, the wavetable, incidentally. Oh. Okay, so there is a little pause as I'm looking for the next one, and it's only when I stop and leave it. Look, if I get, say, flute up on here, let go, and then we're into the flutes. Okay. Oops. Oh, back there. Oh, sorry. Get the flutes. Ouch! Sorry, it's hot. It's the thing with Polyphonic. All these voices adding together. Let's try another wavetable. This is an oboe. Wagyu, the radicals should be on everything, at least near the end of the video. Yeah, I know. Because when you turn it on, it sort of brings that thing. And actually, we can get some filtering off here as well. Oh, sorry, can't see what I'm doing. Let's just pull this out a little bit. It just gets into that ambient, lovely ambient sort of landscape then, doesn't it? Oh, getting hot again. I'll change the filter to like a, let's try notching out some of that. There's like a, Fado in the chat room saying that EX, the Disting EX, and the OC are two favourite modules so deep. The OC being Ornaments and Crime, I believe. Now, I've only recently become really aware, well, semi-aware, I should say, of the Ornaments and Crime. But, yeah, it looks like another similar kind of thing to the Disting in that it's multiple algorithms, but it approaches it in a slightly different way, doesn't it? Sounds like some sort of theremin sound now. It's nice. It's a bit more like traditional synth territory, I guess, than modular. It's a little bit more like my kind of thing that I'm more used to, really. But I'm looking forward to integrating it in with the other things. Let's get this LFO doing a bit more. Let's see what happens. Square wave into number 6, which... What is number 6? Oh, that was filter, I think, wasn't it? Right, going to find another waveform at random. Oh, yeah. So we're up into the audio rates here. Come out of the radical a little bit. Okay. Let's maybe go to a slower one. Nice. It's really great that you got that little waveform animator on there. Let's get back out of the radical now. It's kind of nice, just spinning the kind of wavetable selector and just seeing what comes out. I guess with some of these modulators, it makes it sound a little bit similar. Oh, yes. I think one of the nice things about modular is, say, the contrast between these two modules. You know, you've got one which is simplicity itself, and then one which is ridiculously complex and sophisticated. And mix and match. Yeah. What I haven't yet ascertained, I should probably have a little flick through the manual, whether you can actually save presets on this, or if it is just... I'm sure you can, because I think you can save everything as presets. If I went to I'm sure you can. If I think about it, you come up, you go across to presets, in, save preset. There it goes. Yeah. Yep. Am I sure? Okay, I saved it. So yeah, yes, you can, and it's very easy. So. I mean, when you go into the menus on this, let me just get zoomed in. Okay, this is the thrilling menu dive now. We are going deep sea menu diving. Oh, let's get this in as tight as we can. Oh, this is great new camera. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Hope you're enjoying the new cameras. The new cameras. Well, I say new cameras, new camera and lens. Although I think I'm going to be getting a second one of these as well. That's pretty cool. Although I realise that's my finger. Yeah. God, I couldn't do stuff like this before. Yeah, this is cool. This is super cool. I'm really pleased about this camera. But yeah, okay. Wow. I've never noticed things on my fingers before. They're just too in focus now. Right. Okay. So this is like the menu, and you can, if I go up again, so you can kind of go in, out, and oops, went too far. Oh no, that's right. Oh, I can't remember now. Out. Yeah, because they're like, you go into the menus. Right. Okay, I'm here now. This is it. I was in the right menu. Sorry. So, algorithms. This is like your top level now. Algorithms. That's showing our current algorithm we've got loaded. Presets. Mappings. So, everything. If you go into the mappings, oops. I'm getting this wrong. I am still struggling a little bit with these menus. Okay. No. What am I doing? I've got. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm in, back. I'm just getting a bit lost. Okay, sorry about this. And you're seeing it all in super close up, high definition. Camera looks nice zoomed in. Thanks, Bill Smith. Yeah. I'm pleased. And also cameras that don't cut off after 30 minutes, which my previous ones did, which I know many of you are very aware of. And it's like it's a surprisingly, I'm surprised how much it's relaxed me doing these shows, knowing that I don't have to constantly keep the cameras alive. Anyway, right. So I'm trying to show you these menus, even though I don't really know them very well. But I guess the thing is when you go into these menus, there's a lot of things you can do. Example being, and something that's actually quite nice is if you go into MISC in the menu, you can see firmware version, where we can see we're on 1.6. I've not got this menu down. In. Oh no, that's right, because you have to press in and then. Oh, here we go. Right, so you can see MIDI history. Which is really cool. It's really great because you can check. Oh, why? Siri thought I said something. But you can. It's a really good way to make sure that you've got incoming MIDI. I'm getting really confused with these menus. I will learn them. It's just because it's trying to do so much in such a small little package. Okay, where were we? Show MIDI history. Show I2C history. So that's like another bus, I think. I haven't really explored that yet, but I think you can connect other modules using this I2C bus as well. Show stats. Well, make of that whatever you will. I'm sure there must be a quicker way of coming out. I'm having to navigate each time, but tests. Oh yeah. So things. This is getting down into the murky area. Okay, so in the normal settings, then there's lots of MIDI options. We can make the MIDI out on there to be a soft through. Yeah, I guess what I mean is that these kind of settings are the kind of thing, again, you'd see on a a larger synthesizer, really. You can adjust so many things. Contrast, screen things, startup preset, startup mapping, auto startup preset, auto save change algorithms, knob parameter threshold. This is the thing I was trying to, this is the kind of good stuff I was trying to get to. So you can see that a lot of the things that you maybe if they annoy you, you can probably change it. Like, for instance, if you don't like the way that it's mapped, you can set up a default mapping, which I think is super cool. Yeah, anyway. A new drinking game. Anytime Siri hears MIDI and wakes up. Siri. Siri is just surprisingly stupid, really. I'm surprised about Apple. Apple, very ahead of the curve in many things, but their voice assistant stuff is just way behind. I just don't understand how they can not be leading in that area. It just seems weird to me. However, there we go. You'd have to go to Specsavers to use the menus on this. Yeah, although I have to say, at the distance I am from it, which, is probably 2 foot from the screen, because it's like an OLED screen, I actually find it is actually quite clear. Yeah. Right, anyway, where am I? That's where I am. And that's my somewhere, not like my preset. Okay. I didn't really think this through. This is sort of, I thought this might get us through the whole show, but maybe we could look at the Dream Machine. Yeah, why not, if we're here? But I think you'll agree, though, that this synth is pretty damn cool and could probably justify being a module on its own. And yet there is, that's the thing with the Disting, how complex each of the algorithms, especially in the EX version, they could be just standalone modules. So you could really get a Disting, and I reckon a lot of people do that with, certainly with the Mark IV, and set it to an algorithm, and that's what it is, and it's worth remembering that, because the Disting costs around about £130, is it? Maybe, I'm not sure. But it's you might be looking to buy a particular module to do a very specific thing, and it may be that the Disting is cheaper to get a Disting for that role than buying a more expensive module, and as I say, only using it for that single role. Question about how do I like the MIDI adapter for the EX? Yeah, I think it's great. At first, I think I had it wired wrongly on an earlier show. I apologize for that. Yeah, I mean, it's great because it works as an in and out, and that out can be set to be in a soft through as well. So yeah, great. I mean, it's cheap, and you can buy it as a kit as well, rather than having it fully assembled. Okay, let's back out a little. Set the camera up here. Oh, look, it's cool, isn't it? It just stays in focus. It's really cool. It makes me happy. I can do things like this and not have to worry too much. Oh yeah, this on this tip top case, or this Those things are bright. Some manufacturers like using really bright blue LEDs. Those are pretty strong. Okay, let's get in a little bit. Oops. Yeah, let's leave it like that for a moment. Is the MIDI adapter the same one as on the Mark IV? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's exactly the same one. Yeah. Yeah, it's fairly inexpensive, I think. Right. Okay, let's have a look at the Dream Machine then. Okay, thank you, Poly Wavetable. Right. Algorithms. We're going to go in there. We're going to choose single. And we're going to go back to number 8, Dream Machine. And here we are. Okay. Now, as I say, I've not used this yet, so I might just get the manual up to my right so I can see what I'm doing. But I'll read out the description of what the Dream Machine is, just to give us some idea of what we're going to be looking at. Yeah, so this is available now, the Dream Machine, and in the 1.5, is it? Was it 1.4? I'm not sure. But the this 1.6 firmware, you won't find it today if you're watching this live, but if you're watching this video tomorrow or onwards, I think you'll find it's at the on the Expert Sleepers website. Yeah, so I've got a little sneaky little preview tonight. So again, just apologies for those of you who want to get it straight away. I say you have to wait, but Dream Machine, if you haven't got it already, that is available. Okay, there we go. This algorithm is designed to generate drones, allowing the user to explore non-traditional harmonies based on prime ratios. It was inspired by the theories of composer Lamont Young. And actually, interestingly, he says an interesting read is the PDF Notes on the Theatre of Eternal Music, available on a number of places online. So that's quite interesting. I like that. I'm going to have to read that. The output is a combination of 5 sounds, the fundamental and 4 harmonies. The prime ratio that define the frequency relationships are controlled by parameters. The algorithm uses wavetable synthesis to generate the tones. Additionally, the fundamental may instead be a pure sine, triangle, or square wave. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because that will just kind of pin down the tonic, the root. Each tone has a simple attack release envelope controlled by its own gate parameter. And by default, a little is mapped to the CV inputs, and it's perfectly possible to drive the algorithm entirely by hand. Oh, that sounds cool. You may, however, like to map the inputs as FM inputs or to control the gates. Okay, so let's get in a bit closer then, if we don't need a keyboard. And let's play it with the controls and let's see what it can do. Now, I'm assuming that it will probably have some similarities, maybe the delay and chorus possibly. I haven't looked at the parameters yet on this. Let's get it so you can see the screen. I can imagine though that the thingy bob, the radical will be cool on this. Okay, so Dream Machine. Right, let's see what happens. Setting the fundamental. The fundamental is the fixed tone, usually the bass note, that everything revolves around. You may like to set it to concert pitch. It defaults to concert B flat or some other frequency. Lamont Young sometimes chose the mains frequency, 60 hertz in the USA. I think, is it 50 hertz here? Or you could tune it in. You could tune it into the resonant frequency of whatever environment you find yourself in. Actually, slightly off topic, but that just reminded me, the great guitarist Danny Gatton, Telecaster player, sadly died tragically. He was an incredible guitarist. There is a tuition video of his, you can see it on YouTube, and it's really cute. The video's from the early 80s. What's cute about it is, I guess because guitar tuners were slightly harder to find back in the day. He says, like, you listen to the telephone, and I guess this was in America, and the dial-in tone was in F. So you could tune your F And then from F, you could get your A note, and then you could go then tune your F down to an E off the A note. So I just thought it was really funny tuning via the telephone, but in this slightly convoluted way. But it also did make me think, wow, you know, tuners being essentially a luxury product. Fair play. Okay, let's get back to the good stuff. Yay, I think this can work. Right, so setting fundamental. Right, so I'm assuming then that if I just do something, okay, like turn it up. Oh, right, okay, this is picking the wavetables. Yes, I do remember now. There is a wavetable folder on the Disting. So any algorithm that uses wavetables, because I think there might have been a monophonic wavetable synthesizer in it before. Possibly that's in a Disting as well, with obviously the polyphonic aspect being the new stuff. Okay, but I want to be able to get it droning. Let me just take out any of the modulators first, just in case they're messing things up. It may just be that there's a volume. It doesn't say you need to give it gates, but that is oh, there was a gain control there. Oh yeah, they're all off. There we go. Gain. Okay, so we can turn up, I think. No. No. Perhaps should read a little bit ahead. You have to flip the gates on. They're off. Bill Smith, you are a gentleman, of course. So the gates, there we go. Of course, makes total sense. So there's our fundamental, and it's going to be using the, it sounds like it's using, well, yeah, using the wavetable at the moment. Gate 1, Gate 2, Gate 3, Gate 4. And now the gains are going to make sense in relative to that. Okay. So let's just go and mess with a few things first. In this particular algorithm, we have, what's that now, 42 parameters. Again, starting with the first 6 being attenuators for our inputs, and then we get to our wavetable choice. So again, yeah, so it's the same ones we saw. So it's the same folder of wavetables. Man, that makes sense. That's great. I've got a load of cool wavetables that I'm going to import into this. I like the idea though of setting our drone to be a I'll just find one that we like. I don't know quite what I'm looking for at this point in time. Maybe something with a bit more top end. Okay. Hey, right. Let's just use that for now. Okay, so I'm changing the prime numbers. Oh, the fundamental is, yeah, in pure hertz here. Okay. The octave, so that will, I guess that'll, ooh, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, so the range is kind of limited until you change the octave, and then, yeah, your parameter ranges depends on which octave you're in. Denominator. Oh yeah, this is cool. Numerator 1. Numerator 2. 3. Ooh. Reminds me a little bit of a static subharmonicon when you're messing with the tunings. Oof! Oh dear. Feel like I've skipped the class with Lamont Young. Now coming in. Oh yeah, panning is cooler. We'll set one left. Oh yeah, let's set some panning up. Let's get this stereo going on. Always good to have a bit of stereo action. Now, wave input. I need to kind of figure out what wave input is. None. So I guess one of that, maybe that input there is wave input. Yeah, so I'm guessing I can somehow do something with that. I don't know yet. Wave offset. Oh, that's got a lot of action on it. Okay, so here's our simple envelope, which is attack time and decay time. Oh yeah, we've got FM input 1 here, FM input 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, and here we can choose what our waveform is. Let's put it on a sine for now. Just FM range. Oh yeah, and then we're around. Okay, so we need to modulate this bad boy more, I think. I just wonder what happens. I'll just see what happens if I get some of these things in here. Not a lot. Might have to map some things or... Ah! Not quite sure 100% what's mapping what. I want to tune the fundamental down though, I think. Let's take that out for now. So what do we need to modulate to make this fun? I guess a super slow modulation of the fundamental might be quite fun. Let's just get that. Let's just see what we can do with this thing down here now. Sneak some of the radical in as well. Some slightly sour tuning going on. So like if I can tidy some of that up. Not quite sure what the denominator does. I guess it's to do with the maths of things, isn't it? So we've got prime numbers. Oh, we're getting into bagpipe territory. Oh. We lost it. What have I done? Not entirely sure what I've done. Just wiggle every knob now. We're bringing the denominator down. Getting a bit of the radical now. Ooh, there's a squishy, phasey thing going on there. Prime 1. I've no idea what's going on now. Yeah, I've no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, definitely a curious... yeah, I've lost the sound. So, yeah, lots of things you can tweak. Oh, hang on. I'm probably modulating stuff. Hang on, let's just yank some of that stuff out. I have no idea now. I've lost. Denominator. It's doing some weird stuff. Can you hear that? Yowks! Whoa! I quite like this though. Ooh! God. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, that text is a bit hard to read. Maybe if I get the camera a bit closer. Wow. Gosh. This is an interesting thing, isn't it? Because, I mean, I've lost track of what on earth is going on. I'm going to have to read that Lamont Young article. My thumbnails look dirtier than they're actually clean. It's a problem with this camera. Yeah. We can definitely modulate that one. Let's try slow. So that's where these input attenuators are handy on here. So I could flick down to attenuator 5. Attenuator 5, I should say. Let's go slow. Oh, sorry, just looking at the back of my hand there, apologies. Yeah. It's fun. Oh, change my left hand. Okay. So, yeah. maybe not as musical as the Poly Wavetable synth. Yeah. Fun though. Here we go. See what happens now, this drone. Whoa! Okay. Whoa. That's cool, isn't it? Going in different directions now. So different voices are kind of raising. Oh, here it goes again. It's quite baked in effects at the moment. Now, what happens if I say change the wavetable? So gonna get a very different vibe. Ooh, yeah. Hang on, let's try another one. Such a shame there's no kind of buffer memory that you could load the wavetable into and then smoothly transition. It's quite pleasing. Oh, I didn't mean to change that, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's some interesting information. Setting the primes. Parameters 8 to 11. We've been messing with these, but let's get there now. Let you choose the set of prime numbers that will make up the allowable values for the frequency ratios. Okay, Lamont Young famously chose primes 2, 3, 7 and 31, and moreover specifically avoided the prime 5, thereby excluding major thirds from his tunings. Ooh, okay. It's probably why he was thought of as a miserable sod. No, he wasn't. Maybe he was. If you want less than 4 primes, set the unwanted parameters to 1. So, choosing the primes then. I'm not... maybe we'll have to take this modulator out for this to make any sense. This is way over my head. I'm no mathematician. as if you'd... Sorry if I've ever implied that I was. So, I'm not quite sure what all of this is. Oh, we're in a low octave there. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Come back to the denominator. So the primes then. Let's get them. Make the primes smaller. Let's make the primes really small. Okay, prime. I'll set all the primes to the lowest they can be. Okay. So what we got here? 31, 23, 43, and 251. Oh no, of course it's not. I see. You can get them all. Sorry, that's just where the range of these things are. Got it. So you can dilly donking sometimes. Right, okay. Yeah, dilly donking is something I use quite a lot as a kind of a non-swear word thing. If you ever get into some road rage with someone, you know, look at them and go, "You dilly donking, you dilly donking," you know, and then you're really aggressive with it. They might go away thinking, "Oh, what's a dilly donking? Is that really offensive?" Right. Yes. So I see all prime numbers. Yeah, you can set them all to whatever you want them to be. So, okay. Yeah, it's way too low down here, isn't it? Oh, hang on. If I change the octave. I put it in the third octave then, and then I don't really understand what kind of prime numbers you'd be using. We're gonna click every second. Yeah, I guess it's a super. Yeah, that's what we're hearing. Let's. Ugh. God. I get the thing now slightly, but it's just so many parameters. Oh, the fundamental. Look at that. The fundamental was set to nothing. Okay. Of course. Oh, it's neat. It's neat, isn't it? Look. So I could set... I'm getting it now. I can set the fundamental now. All the other voices then are going to be based off prime numbers, off the fundamental. Brain is getting it together now. Okay. Okay. So... denominator. Let's have a look in the manual about the denominator. Oh! On page 63 of the Disting manual. Now, I think this must be the Disting 1.6 manual, so just be aware of that. There is a fun fact. It says this algorithm was road tested during development in a couple of online gigs that you can watch here and here with with clickable links. So definitely something worth checking out if you're interested in this Dream Machine. I think I've got to get the frequencies up. Yeah, so this denominator. I don't know what it means. Oh, this is the numerator. Oh, ow! Yikes. So there is no effects actually in this one. So having some effects on the end is definitely advised. Yow! So I suppose if you had a chart or a calculator even to work out some of these prime numbers. Loaded a Commodore 64 game now, yeah. Yeah, so Okay, that's quite nice. Let's put the modulator in and see what things happen. Let's get it. I think we want a slower. Let's get a slower one. Okay, that's cool. Let's get that slower. I'm just going to look where that link takes us. Yeah. Fuzzback gigs. Dark Root. Yeah. If you look on YouTube, I should really put this link up, really. And there's Oz the Good Man. Okay. Oh, it's nice. Let's try this one. I'm going to have to get into the mappings and being able to configure this a little bit more to what I want it to do. You know, one of the great things, I've shown this before, but one of the great things about the Disting, and this applies to the original, you know, the Disting Mark IV as well, is, and I think maybe all the Distings did it, or they have certainly for a few iterations. You can see, as this input is coming in, you can see the LFO, the effect of the LFO on that input there. So as I change that rate, look, as I slow it down, you know, it's a really nice visual touch, that is, and it does make me wonder, because like certainly the Disting Mark IV is very affordable, so I just don't know if this is a particularly expensive feature to implement, but it would be fantastic if it was more of a standard thing and that more manufacturers adopted it, or maybe he's got some sort of patent on it, I don't know, but it's really cool. So you can just see that the slow LFO pulsing, which is really nice. Yeah. I'm gonna probably stop fairly soon. You know, I say that, but yeah, I think we've covered quite a lot of ground here. Feel I'm making a little bit of progress with these Distings anyway, in terms of getting used to the menus a little bit more. I'm spreading myself so thin over so many things that I don't get the quality time to really get au fait with things as much as I'd like to. And again, with something like this, it's so incredibly deep and there's just so much in here. But I'm really interested in this particular algorithm, especially as the Lamont Young article that is linked gives it a different dimension, you know, something I just really simply don't know about, and I'm inspired to learn about it and then to come back to it with a slightly shifted perspective about maybe the underlying sort of maths and musicality. Okay, so yeah, you're getting some nice sounds with this Dream Machine. I do get a bit lost and a bit confused, but so I guess if you're shooting gates into this, then you could do like a kind of rhythmical thing, and depending on the gate lengths, yeah, you could do something quite cool, something worth exploring. I am going to make a video I'll do a stream, maybe next one, featuring more of the Pamela's new workout, because that module is the one that really is starting to be the center of a lot of the stuff that I've been doing on my main rig, and that's kind of why Mylar Melodies was really kind of encouraging me to buy one, because it's quite nice having an absolute, that's where everything starts. That's the point, that you can turn it all on and you can turn it all off from that. But why, my goodness, I initially thought it was just about doing, whoa, it was all going so well then until I changed that. Yo! What am I changing? Prime numbers. Oof. See, I've lost it again now. I've just got that horrible sound. Sorry. That's gonna give you tinnitus, isn't it? What have I done? My goodness. I had a nice mellow thing going on, and then I think I accidentally nudged something. Okay, well, maybe that particular note, I think I'm going to wrap. So I was just talking about the Pamela's new workout there. Now that's a deep old module as well. When you start looking at what each of those outputs can be on the Pamela's, and this is something we'll look at, so I won't say much more about it, but that just got my head just going, and there's only so many hours in a day, and some of these things require significant investment of time. At least with the Pamela's new workout, it is very easy to get up and going, and the kind of the depth that's within there, you can explore later. It's not an impediment to kind of getting going on it, and I think that's it's got a very nice design. I think that it's really good. There's also an expander you can get for that as well, which I'm like going, yeah, I think I might have to get that at some point. Anyway, thank you so much everybody for joining me today. It's a real pleasure for me to do these, especially with a live audience and such a cool bunch of peeps out there. I have started a Discord chat. I think 2 people have joined so far. The Gaz Williams show. I'll put the link in. I'll put it in the in these notes. And I'll maybe So if you fancy joining the chat on there, that would be great, because then what I'm planning on doing is making any announcements about what I'm doing on that Discord chat, and to answer any questions, or if you've got anything that you'd like me to look at, I'd be happy to engage in that. I think it'd be really cool. Beyond that, what else have we got going? I've got quite a busy week coming up now, so I've got my shows as well on Wednesday, which is going to be my regular show, and fingers crossed I'm going to have a fabulous guest. And then on Friday, I'm going to try my second of my Effects Friday shows. So now that one, the Friday show, really is, there's another guy, another couple of people actually who I want to feature regularly. And yeah, fingers crossed we can maybe do that on Friday. That particular person is one of the people we are choosing to spend Christmas with. We're allowed 3 families, so COVID, it will be allowable. It's just whether we can make this work. But that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to make the Friday thing like a 2-person jamming and exploring effects kind of thing. That's the plan. So hopefully we'll get there eventually. It might. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep it up just to, sharpen up the old tools. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you've enjoyed the improved clarity of my show with my cameras stuff. As I say, I've been trying to increase the quality. Not the content. The content is still as rubbish as it's ever been, but the actual visual quality, and hopefully the microphone sounding better too. I had people complaining about the sound of my tongue. And I think maybe it had a little bit too much top end in there, a little bit too much compression possibly. So hopefully my tongue isn't annoying you so much. Right then. Yes. I bid you all a good night and thank you once more from the heart of my bottom for joining me. I've been Gaz Williams. Please subscribe. And if you can, click the like. I've been told again that I need to tell people that because those likes are gold. You know, they're wonderful. And yeah. Oh, and apologies as well, because I realised when I've been losing the chat. I've been losing the chat. Like the YouTube editor where you can edit the streams, I've been cutting the beginning off. As soon as you cut the beginning off, it loses all the live chat. So I've done that numerous times, totally unaware. And now I know. And so I just want to say sorry, because the chat, when you're watching the show back and you've got the live chat going, it makes it a lot more interesting. So yeah, big apologies for chopping off all that chat. But anyway, right then, there, off we go. Good night, everyone. Please take care and big love and be kind to everybody, even when they don't deserve it. Oh, it's going to get a bit hackneyed saying that, but I mean it. Right. Cheerio.